So welcome again to the 2021 FRGS Submission Proposal Workshop. Without further ado, I would like to invite Assistant Prof. Datuk Dr. Muhammad Basir bin Makno as a Head of Research, College of Medicine, to present to give a welcome notes and also present the introductory to this workshop. Please, Prof.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Aidil, for the introduction. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you to this brief workshop. So normally we run the workshop every year, and last year we had quite for a few days of proposal presentation, and this year due to our busy time schedule, we decided to have it only for the half a day, from 2:30, and inshallah we hope that we will finish by 5 o'clock. So on the right side, did a brief program for today. I will give a brief introduction for 15 minutes, followed by a talk from Prof. Azrina and also Prof. Roslina, the sharing experience. So you notice that our lecture is going to be overlapped because we're going to stress on the important points and how to win writing the proposal. Then about 3:15, we're going to listen to 5 proposals. Because so far we have received only 5 proposals from a few departments, and hopefully we finish by 4:50 or by 5 o'clock. Okay, so following this, the research coordinator from each department is going to look at all the lecturers with proposal, and then we will follow up and to make sure that the lecturer going to submit the proposals. So we're going to appoint, if possible, I think Prof. Jamal and I have discussed, we hope that we can appoint a mentor to this lecturer. Okay, so who are the potential mentor? When I look at the kuliah history for the past 5 years on the recipient of the FRGS and FRGS, actually not many. So for the past 10 years, we have only about 17 recipients that still with COM, and 2 PRGS recipients. And from that list, the 4 lecturers has managed to secure twice, like Prof. Ramli, Prof. Nolela, Prof. Zamzila, and also Prof. Azrina. Okay, so that we hope that this workshop will increase the number of the successful recipient of FRGS, and therefore we can increase the the future mentors at Kuliah of Com. Okay, the grant, today we're going to focus on the FRGS. The grant opened on the 18th of January and closed at university level 1st of March. So we need to submit on the 1st of March at 12 midnight before that. So there is no extension because the university want to have more time for the assessment. We don't want the same problem last year repeated again. And after that, the MOHC or KPT closing date is on the 31st of March. So this year we have new guidelines, FRGS 2021. So the maximum or the ceiling for the grant is 250,000. So if it's 2 years, it's about 125,000 per year, roughly. Okay, if you have followed the previous talk, organized by RMC Kuantan, the one is the writing the winning research proposal, and also research pattern search. So this talk actually is already recorded and available at the RMC IUM RMC both the IUM RMC and Content Campus RMC Facebook. Okay, briefly I'm going to what is FRGS. So FRGS is always fundamental and fundamental and fundamental, right? So it has to be exploration of the new ideas, the concepts or theories, and it's about the answers to the question of why and how. So the research should focus on the accumulation of the theories, fundamental structures, and fundamental processes. So that leads to the goal, the new theories or extending and refuting any existing theories. So new models or new frameworks, that lead to new policy recommendation, and also improving technology at the fundamental level. Okay, the research cluster and domain, the 7 domain areas there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Then for us, most of us focus on the health and clinical sciences domain. So for the clusters here, there are 8 research clusters, and for us, we focus on the health and clinical sciences. And if possible, the focus is on I think we can be on any topics, but the focus this time is on mental health and the precision medicine. Okay.
Sorry Prof, maaf
Yeah.
Prof.
Pardon?
Prof boleh tukar display setting tak, besarkan sikit?
Oh, I sharing ya? Display
Ya, yeah,
setting?
betul. Ya. Yeah.
Oh, maksudnya sekarang ni you nampak apa?
2 slide, kiri dan kanan.
Oh, okay. I cabut satu. Apa now?
Tak, Prof tekan dekat display setting.
Oh, okay. Ya.
Dekat atas tu dia akan jadi satu saja.
I can remove this one. Sebab tadi, sekarang dah okay kan? Sekejap ya.
Sekejap Prof, dia tengah loading.
Oh, dia share yang belah sini ya? I think I close kejap ya. I will start balik. Okay, is it I share balik ya?
Yes, Prof.
Oh, my okay, sorry. So sorry about that. Okay, sekarang kejap ya. Share. Alright. Okay. Okay tak? Okay dah kan?
Okay, Prof.
Alright. Okay. So for this one, okay. Alright. I think that one of the thing that we had to make our proposal to the KEGA, which is the Key Economic Growth Activities. The output, for 2 years project, 1 the master student, for 3 years 1 PhD student or equivalent of 2 master student. Research publication minimum 2, you can publish more, but minimum 2. 2 has to be indexed and 1 has to be indexed in Web of Science. IP, intellectual property for FRGS is encouraged but not compulsory. The outcome had to impact on this, we call it the quantiplex helix, on the society, academia, industry, government, and environment. So how we evaluate, we look at the quality or the almost perfect proposal, quality proposal, meaning that the title has to be informative, the executive summary has to be convincing, clear problem statement, good scientific background, good selection of methodology, realistic budget and schedule, and most important is it deals with solving the problem at the fundamental level. So the areas that to be marked this time added further. One is on the pattern search, risk assessment, and also on the collaboration. Okay, the title, there must be specific. The brief and reflects the content of the proposal. It must include the output or contribution, the method and application domain. Maksudnya, kalau kita tengok title ni kan, enhance productivity through the quick response time for high efficiency. So the output is like enhance productivity. The method is through the quick response. For high efficiency. So this contoh ya. So the avoid thing that will reflect application like development of, application of, or the design of. So once they see this word, if they maybe you are unfortunate lah, will be that rejected unless the but anyway, was told that cannot when we had the talk last week. So because it's applying research, the avoid yang unnecessary words like if tak ada pun tak apa, like studies of, investigation of, research on, or something like that. So these are certain thing that you need to avoid. Contohnya like a novel theory or new model, novel. So some of the researchers that I made the comment last year when I did the assessment, they refuse to change. So please follow the assessor's recommendation. If not, the assessor at KPT will get angry, like what happened last year. Okay, for the team, the FRGS, the minimum 2, but maximum 5. 2 ni, you are lucky lah if you're possible that more, more than 2, 5. So you need to have the PI might have the expertise in the topic to be searched, to be studied, and a well-balanced team, with good background. Okay, the executive summary tadi must be informative. I'm sure that the next speaker will cover this. And concise and compact. If you use abbreviation, define it when it's first used for the first time. For the problem statement, you need to describe the issue currently exists that need to be addressed. Remember of how and why, and you can use the term like to use this term like to come up with, to propose, to recommend, to examine, to investigate, but avoid the sentence, the word like to measure, to characterize, or to synthesis. Okay, the fund, these are do and don'ts about fundings. So not allowed to make unauthorized purchases like to pay for the membership, to purchase reference material, purchase the phone or any ICT things, payment for phone bills, stationery, storage equipment like hard disk, external disk, pen drive, payment of the space or rental, payment of filing intellectual property, purchase not directly related to the research project. For traveling, okay, you are lucky, we are lucky because not lucky lah. During this time we are not allowed to travel, but if you want to travel overseas, only during the second year. The purchase of books and journals not allowed. And if you want to upload the quotation, please upload the proper quotations, not from Lazada ke eBay ke, so I think need to ask for the proper quotation. So one thing that we need to do this time is the pattern search. So the form will lead you to lens.org. You can refer to the talk pattern search at the RMC Facebook to if you're not sure what to do. The main objective is to for the awareness about the research area. So the aim of the pattern search is to familiarize with the basic pattern search process, to identify the novelty position of your research, to identify other factors like the potential collaborators, identify the potential trends of the IP of interest, to find other users of the same idea and look at neighboring countries, especially Singapore, Indonesia, and Thailand. So you can see whether they have developed the similar ideas or not. Kalau like increasing trend, but Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia still not developing that, maybe you have the meaning that it's not really been commercialized yet or patented. So avoid submitting, the aim also is to avoid submitting research proposal that lack novelty and lack of potential economic and social impact. Okay, so the form we are health and science, so we need to fill out the 1 and 2 for science, health and science, clinical health and science. We need to fill up 5, 6, 7, and 8. So even though mentioned that is encouraged, but actually you need to by filling up the yes and no only, you will obtain 5 marks. But we want to get about 8 marks. So we need to identify the potential collaborators and the risk assessment in terms of technical, timing, and budget according to the SWOT analysis. Yang look at the technical, time, and also financial. Okay, these are the reasons for rejection. So unclear, this is my last slide. Unclear or unfocused proposal, no original idea, the proposal is routine application of a known technique, does not lead to new findings, objectives not clearly spelled out, lack of specific research problem, outcome is not clear, the proposal is not qualified in that subject, the proposal is not of national interest, the poorly presented, poor English, and not realistic. So the way that is being marked, if you look at tadi kan, belakang sikit so the mark so we aim to get 80 and above, right? So at the KPT level, we try to help you at the kuliah level. At the KPT level, we try to help you to give the feedback so that all the areas here will get more than 8. So if 80 and to 84 is recommended automatically and is more than 85, so the mark is highly recommended. So we want to get the 2 assessors. If both highly recommended, is very good. Kalau one is highly recommended and one is recommended, the RMC I think can upgrade that to highly recommended. Right. So our aim is to help you to get your proposal recommended or highly recommended. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thanks, Aidil.
Thank you very much, Prof. Datuk. Next sessions, I would like to invite Prof. Azrina from INS to share the next tips on successful FRGS application. Prof. Azrina, please proceed.
Okay, sekejap Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm just setting up my screen share. Okay. Is it okay? Does everyone can see my screen?
Not yet, Prof.
Yeah, okay. Sekejap Share screen. Broadcast already. Oh, start broadcast not yet. Okay, now can you see my screen? Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to thank you, Prof. Basri, and the team for inviting me. Even though I'm not actually the expert, I'm just here to share the experience it's very a limited experience. Actually, so far I only attempted 3 grants. 1 failed in 2014 and 2 are successful in 2015 and 2019. However, I have been a co-researcher for 8 FRGS grants from various collaborators from IUIM KICT, UNITEN, UMP and UITM colleagues. And this has led me to learn from their experience on how to write the research proposal and also how to actually progress on the research grant, applying research grant in Malaysia. And I also like to thank my colleagues in BMS, Zamzila and also Nolelawati, who had helped me during the initial period while applying the grant. So I'm not going to repeat everything that Prof. Basri already stated. I'm just sharing what the things that I've learned from my UITM, from my colleagues, other colleagues from other universities who have been so successful, and also what actually make me fail during my first attempt in 2014. So my first attempt in 2014 was that when I was just back, fresh from my PhD. I was back in 2013. So I'm very eager in doing research, but my the problem is that I tend to like to write like a PhD, literature review, PhD style, which is not so, because research grant is not a thesis. It's just a proposal how to sell yourself, how to promote yourself. So, and the other mistake is that I'm doing animal study, because at that time I thought fundamental is more animal. So I look at my look for advice from my colleagues in BMS. And unfortunately, because my track record, I've never done animal study before. My expertise is in non-clinical studies. And many clinicians think that being clinician, if we don't do animal studies or lab work studies, we are unable to do fundamental study. Is wrong, because I've seen my colleagues in engineering who are doing clinical studies as well. I've seen my colleagues in other universities who are doing clinical, but they can come up. This is the way how you actually write the research proposal, how we are going to promote your ideas. So the remark that I get, because literature review is very heavy, they say they get mistaken from my literature review, as you can see here. And then they say that the methodology does not reflect how I'm going to elucidate the mechanism. And also, I'm a new. I don't really know animal studies. I just want to embark that, and that's few of the mistakes. So I learned from other experience. At that time, my colleagues in Unit 10 had already applied 2 research. One FRGS and another one is FRGS disaster. We have the flood disaster at that time. So was having the first FRGS, this is her first attempt, and he got FRGS disaster. It looks like very easy for her to get that. So I asked her to share her proposals, and I look at it. The writing is very less worthy. It's very short, precise, and succinct. It's intelligent, but the audience is actually for non-specialists. You are not going to sell it for to sell it if you use a lot of jargon, which is very specific to your specialty. And one thing that really helped me is that there is a clear description and link from objective, methodology, and milestone. I'll expand that later. And as I mentioned before, this is not a thesis. You need to sell yourself. You are an able researcher. So my second attempt in 2015 was successful. I did my area of expertise, which is my PhD area, which is kidney in ICU patients versus the animal study. And again, there's a clear linkage, and have and done very realistic and specific KPIs. I will mention that later. So, and then another challenge for us as a clinician, again, because we're so busy, I mean, this shouldn't hamper, but because we are doing clinical works as well. Also the challenge of running studies, and then you must remember running animal study is different from clinical study. Animal study has also had their own limitations and problems, but clinical study is more, it depends on the situation at the time. So one of the challenges that I have during that time was I already set up the studies in HTA, and then we moved to our new hospitals, and we need to set up again. So all this lead to delay. So my advice, once you have got the research, you must already update it in your MyGrant and RMSV2 website frequently. Keep it updated rather than keep it at the end. And for your financial, you really need to keep on your own balance sheet. You cannot just rely on what RMC, because I have caught so many times when I did I checked, the RMC actually charged other people research into my research. This is one of the things that you need, because getting research grant is one thing, but to run it is another thing. Okay, KPI, we need to have a proper KPI. Like Prabhasi said, 2 years research, there's one master student and 2 publications. So you already have in your mind what paper that you want to already churn out. Don't wait at the end. So, and duration, for me, I need to extend from 2 years to 3 years, because I need 6 months because of all the challenges. And it is okay, it is acceptable. And 6 months you can apply from IIM only, another 6 months from the KPT. So by the end, I managed to complete the research by 2018 with 5 index publication and 5 international conference proceedings, 7 national. I have 4 students, and but at that time, the students are actually the master clinical students. But nowadays, the latest research, we need master by full research. So for the clinician, unfortunately, you cannot take your master clinical as opposed to the previous grant. And from my students, I have 8 research awards. And from this good track record, because it's very important, if you get one, if you have good track record, it's very easy for you to get the second one. So my third attempt in 2019, after I finished my 2018, because you need a 75% completion before you can apply for the next cycle. So in 2019, but I've already had the proposal prepared in the MyGrant as a draft a year earlier, because I got this idea from my previous research. It's an extension from the recommendation of the previous FRGS, and because of the previous all KPIs have been achieved, and I have also used the same principle of writing, simple, clear, and succinct. And Alhamdulillah, I got another research, another grant in 2019. So let's see the titles. Prabhasi already seen, already given you what are the ideal title, and I will relate it to the assessment criteria that we have. The title will contribute around 5%. So my first FRGS is actually development. I know now they don't actually encourage you to use development, but maybe you can actually change it. So in 2019, I make it as a profiling. This is Prof. Nolela's idea. And I thank her for during the FRGS workshop that we have just as today. So the area of research is the same, glomerular filtration rate kidney in ICU patients. In 2015, it's ICU patients only. In 2019, it's ICU patients with sepsis. So the title must be specific and brief, and also reflect what are your output that you want from this. Okay. An executive summary. Okay, if you read the first line, the executive summary might have problem statement, objective, research methodology, and expected outcome and significance. So this is the first impression that need to provide an overview. So when the reviewer actually read your executive summary, they already have an idea what you're going to do. Only then they will look at the detail and what the details. So all this must be present in your executive summary. As I've already divided in a different paragraph, problem statement, the first paragraph, objective, the second paragraph, methodology, and the implication and significance on the last paragraph. So this is my 2019 FRGS again, but not different paragraph. We have all this problem statement, objective, methodology, and implication and significance. Okay, this executive summary alone contribute to 10%. Okay. And research members. Okay, for FRGS, we only limited to 5 research members. Make sure you need to choose your research members well, what they can contribute. rather than just putting because they are head of department or your colleagues, your friend, you just put. No, you need to have a good track. If you are new in research, you can ask your superior, your mentor, if they can be included in FRGS, because research members with a good track record can increase your likelihood rather than you are the first new in this area. So it must be qualified. So my research members are UMP, 2 engineers, 1 from ICT, and 2 of us, Probasri and me, to do the clinical research. Okay, so and then one thing helpful, even though it's not necessary in the proposal, it's advisable for you to actually describe the role of each members. So I have described it specifically, what I'm supposed to do, what my colleagues are supposed to do, and the rest. So this actually can contribute, of course, during in the proposal, they already have all your publications if you updated it, but it doesn't actually explain. Sorry, not that one. So in your form, they already had this form, all the names, but that doesn't really explain the role. If you explain the role of each member, it actually strengthen your research proposal. Hello. Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Salam, boleh continue.
Boleh continue.
Okay. I thought the interference, sorry.
Tak ada orang
Okay.
off the mic.
Okay. And then, okay. The next one is problem statement. Problem statement, you need to state the importance of the study, research gap, and what your research actually aim to address. This is similar as your thesis, but make it much more clear, and also emphasize it, because some of the research, the reviewers, they are not actually expert in that area. Sometimes they just have a look at your research and search it in the internet. So if you actually do actually explain the research gap more properly, that's good. Okay, research background consists of problem statement, hypothesis, and also research questions. All these, the hypothesis and research question must actually reflect the problem statement. So this contributes to around 15%. And publication must be less than 5 years. Oh, sorry, reference must be less than 5 years. So unless you have a landmark reference that is very important, so you need to explain it in your literature review or in your problem state in your literature review. Okay, literature review. As you can see here, literature review. My literature is very simple. I just put the subheading and just explain in one paragraph, rather than if you see the literature review in thesis is very long, isn't it? So it's very simple. Just pick one subheading, one point, and explain that what are the important bits in that one point. Okay. Methodology. Okay, clearly, this is what I mentioned before. These are the objectives, and I have 4 objectives, which are specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. This is 15%. Okay, and this objective I relate to the methodology. So my methodology is not actually very exhaustive. It just relate to the objective. So even for methodology, I put it in different subheading. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And I link it into my milestone. So objective, methodology, and milestone are clearly linked in this. So as you can see, even this is clinical research, but there are different phases. So I developed, the first one is phases is to develop the software for criterion-kinetics modeling by my UMP colleagues. Second one is application in software in critically ill patients. This is where you put for the clinicians there, all the sample size calculation or trial flow, the inclusion and exclusion criteria, but not too exhaustive. And the third, what are you going to do with that? What analysis? It's just analysis, but you are putting it at a different phase because this will relate to your methodology. This is what I learned from my Unit 10 colleagues that have applied, and it is very clear so that even the researcher, the reviewer can see the link between the objective, the methodology, and also the research activities and also the milestones. Okay, and Another thing that I mentioned is the sell yourself. So if you have previous publications or your co-researcher, your mentor have previous publication, sell yourself. So I'm selling myself now, even though in the research form, they already have previous publications, but this one you need to emphasize what are your findings in the previous publications. So the first paragraph, what are our findings in our ICU patients, the epidemiology study that we did. The second one, and then the third, fourth, all this is really to sell to the reviewer that you are an expert in this, and that's why you want to do the study. And this is for my FRGS 2019. I added some more is the novelty and uniqueness of your study. And the last one, for that, I actually quote, I haven't published that, one of the publication for my FRGS 2015, and what the recommendation, and from this become the aim of my the research that I'm applying in 2000. I was applying in 2019. So this actually you need to sell to the reviewers what you are doing, and your study is actually, if this is your second FRGS, the study is actually a continuation of your previous study. Okay, and there are different research output, the novelty, students, yeah. So for research publications, you need to specify what are the scientific papers, what journal, what index, ISI index or Scopus index, and what conferences you want to attend to present the research. So very specific, and we have other so this will be expected result will contribute to 10%. And other tips, you need to be very meticulous. Make sure there's no spelling mistakes. You need to use a correct grammar, because quality of proposal is 10%, contribute to 10%. See, the literature review doesn't actually contribute to anything, but quality of proposal, 10%. So your reference must be less than 5 years, as I said before, and you need to read the latest guideline. We have 2020 guideline to the T, to strict adherence, because if the reviewers see that you don't adhere to the guideline, they will straight away, because there will be many applications. So if they see that you don't use a proper grammar, good formatting or presentation, they will just chuck it out. Okay. And okay, for those who are new for my grant, I advise you to actually, in my grant, you have the pre-submission. Okay, you can just put, if you don't have any idea, see my colleagues in UMP, they just put X, if they have some idea. So if you have some idea, you can actually add something. So you can prepare so many, you can clone the application, the previous applications, you can actually alter, and then all this can actually help when the date of opening is open, you can just submit. So this is where you can explore this, I think. And this is Professor already had evaluate. As you can see, the title, 5%, executive summary 10%, research background 15%, objective 15%, methodology 25%, and so on. Elements of FRGS criteria is only 5%. Okay, I will end up with this. A grant proposal is not, this is from one of the FRGS slides that I got from university years ago. A grant is not a research manuscript, it's not a review paper, it's not a progress report, it's not a thesis. It is an excellent salesmanship of a research plan, the investigative pin, a supportive research pin. This is just to sell yourself. With that, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Azrina. For the next sessions, I would like to invite Prof. Roslina from BMS for delivering her title on sharing experience, also tips and tricks for FRGS grant. Please, Prof. Roslina.
Thank you, Aidil. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening, everyone. So before I begin, some of the point have been mentioned by Prof. Basri and also Prof. Azrina. So you'll be seeing the same information again and again. But before I begin my tips and tricks with FRGS grant, let me tell you, after I came back from my PhD, I was so eager to do to work on human liver biopsy. But unfortunately, it's very difficult to get human liver biopsy here in Malaysia. So I had to start with the animal study. Okay, so from animal study, we did some research on how to induce NASH. Basically, I'm working on non-alcoholic steatohepatitis back in UK, so I would like to continue my research on NASH, but I like to use like the prophets like Habadu Sauda and Tualang Hani. So far, I've been developing on the Tualang Hani quite deep right now. So at first, when I came back, I applied for FRGS. Like Dr. Azrin, like Prof. Azrina, I also wrote my grant application as if I'm writing my thesis. So it's quite detailed. And then I try to ask seniors what are the tips and to get FRGS. So they said you must establish a background paper to go for fundamental. So it's really, you keep on trying and you fail. But when I heard that you need to have a background study, so I started with my endowment grant 20K. So that's where we developed the high cholesterol diet, first high fat diet and then the high cholesterol diet as a co-researcher. Then finally we find out we want to go more deeper on the molecular part, and to establish the model, I applied the RICS grant. So 3 different grants to get really basement paper publication on this in order to get the FRGS. So back in 2017, there were 5, I applied 5 applications, one as a principal, the other 4 as a co-researcher, but none of them were successful. Okay, as a principal, I also noticed that a few things that I missed when I applied for the application. So basically, FRGS, as Prof. Basri have mentioned, is basic fundamental research involving new ideas. So in my research, I'm creating a new model. I want to create a new model, a new non-alcoholic steatohepatitis animal model. So always have to bear in mind for FRGS, you need to see your research proposal, whether you can ask why and how. So why does it happen, and how tualang honey can attenuate the non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. So study on survey, baseline, and observation studies are not fundamental. Okay. Okay, first of all, as a researcher, based on my mistakes, okay, you need to download the FRGS guideline policy, which I'll share you with the slides later. So you can go to this website. Okay, you can download the FRGS guidelines. For me, I like to print out. Okay, you need to read the guidelines properly because it changes from time to time. So this year there are many updates. Okay, underline the important points. Make sure when you fill up your forms, you need to know which research domains are you belongs to. Okay, research clusters, which SDGs really relate to your research proposal. Because according to Prof. Ruhana, when you fill up the wrong research clusters or domain, that is one of the reasons of being rejected as well. Okay, so if you can read the call for proposal or the FRGS guideline, you fill up, you can see all these domains and clusters. Okay, you can get all this information from call for proposal or FRGS guideline. Okay, so these are the 8 research clusters as mentioned by Prof. Basri just now. So we are under health. Okay, there are focus area mental health and precision health. So you need to see which one is yours. Okay. Okay. First, assemble a competent and well-balanced team. Okay, so you need to select, like Prof. Azina mentioned just now, you need to select which person is really important for your research. If you have pathology, you need a biochemistry, to a chemical pathologist. You need somebody on the molecular part. You need to select which one is very important for your research. Okay, don't just because it's colleague you want to invite, but okay. So this information, maximum 5 co-researcher and 1 PI, so total 6 of them. This information was given to me by Dr. Zamzila recently as she attended the evaluation, FRGS evaluation course. Okay, a researcher should have a good track record. Yes, you need to have a good track record. That means you submit your progress report accordingly and all your publication, you fulfill what the grants given to you before this. So RMC will know you have a good track record. Okay, you need to provide evidence of past work. So this is what I've been done from the 3 grants that I've got it. So finally to FRGS. So really on the evidence part is really crucial. And please remind your co-researcher, if this year you are applying for a new grant, please remind your co-researcher to update the information in my grant, update their publication, update their copyright if they have, okay? Update on their citation, update on their H-index, I-index all, okay? Okay, these are the things being seen when you submit your form. It's already been mentioned by Prof. Basri just now. So I'll go through one by one after this. Okay, title, as mentioned by Prof. Basri, should be specific in nature, should be brief, and you should reflect the content of your proposal. And you should put in output or contribution methods. Like for me, I want to study the molecular mechanism. Okay, so number of words advised about 10 to 15 words. Do not exceed 20 words. Okay, so please avoid using the words development, like Prof. Azrina have mentioned just now and Prof. Asri have mentioned just now, studies on, investigation on, and research on. Okay, and this one also, theoretical investigation, fundamental study or novel theory. So this is my FRGS title, which was failed in 2017, attenuation of non-alcoholic steatohepatitis with tualang honey supplementation. And back in 2018, I thank Prof. Jamal for coming to me and said, Roslina, please change molecular approach. I really thank him until now, even though the FRGS project is still going on. I really thank few of them. Prof. Kamaro that time, he go through my executive summary. He said, Roslina, you should make sure everything is there. So I really thank these two person very well, very much. May Allah bless them. So really, because of changing of this title, Alhamdulillah, I got it. Even though not so much, but Alhamdulillah, I'm happy. 19,750, Alhamdulillah, because I can run for 1 PhD and 1 master student. Okay, so for executive summary, you can, it should be around 300 words. It can be in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, you must write in succinct, clear, logical, cohesive executive summary. And you need to really write why you want to do this study. Okay, don't put any citation, no subheadings. Do not miss any point. I made my mistake back in 2017. I missed few points. So which was pointed out by Prof. Kamarul. Prof. Kamarul. Okay, so executive summary, you should write it very precise and logical and cohesive because it's a first impression of your review proposal. If you don't write it correctly, there will be another reason for rejection. Okay, use proper language. If you have abbreviation and if you're using it the first time, please define it. Okay. Okay, keyword should be unique, long tail, can be long tail, 3 to 5 keywords. You can search whether your keywords are popular ones. Okay, this is my keywords that I've used: high cholesterol diet, tualang honey, and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Okay, this is my executive summary, not the wrong one, the correct one after Prof. Kamarul have point out which is my loophole. Okay, so this is the correct one. So I attached together here. You can read later. Okay, problem statement. It's very important. Okay, you need to write on description on your issue currently exists, why you need to do this. Okay, what are the scientific problem? What have not been done here yet? So right now, because I've done the effects of tualang honey on NASH, but I want to know the molecular mechanism. So molecular mechanism of tualang honey have not been explored. So how the mechanism is, which pathway does it affect? So it's not being, so that is what I addressed. And then supported by citation. So I proved that there's no citation. So far, this is my work. So research question, go back to FRGS element, why and how again. Okay, use the word why and how. Okay, so this is my problem statement that I used. This is the 2018's application form. So this is my hypothesis and this is the research question. So I know some people say what are the molecular, but I hear what are the molecular, that means you want to know what is the molecular mechanism. Okay. And then literature review, elaborate on the title. Okay, you need to give an overview of your main area research. Okay, you need to describe on your theories, overview on your theories, on what previous models have done. Okay, and why you want to do this. Is it cheaper? Is it easy to do? You need to really highlight it. Okay, and then you have to cite most recent last 5 years if reference if you can. But if you have one reference really crucial for your study, you can add in, but please define why you need to put this reference. Let's say when I was doing my PhD, I have a reference back in 1953, but that paper really described to me how to isolate stellate cells from the human liver. The latest paper do not describe the latest method on how to isolate stellate cells, but this back 1953, not even, I was not born yet. So this paper really crucial because when you follow the method in that paper in 1953, it really give you the stellate cells. You isolate the stellate cells. So you can put that paper and state why it's crucial. Okay. Then when you do your research, link together with any government policy that is suitable to your research, national agenda or global aspiration. Okay. Prof. Rohana mentioned that literature review should be short and concise, at least 3/4 pages to 2 pages. Okay, don't think that the assessor won't read. Okay, so please write neatly. Don't write like you are writing thesis. Okay. Okay, research objective. Okay, research objective should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and according to the time frame, within the time frame. So the best should be 3 to 4 objective, research objective. And each objective should at least have 6 months of time frame. Okay, so the principal should take in mind, okay, for this objective, how long does it need to be run? Okay, because later it will link to the Gantt chart and milestone. Okay, try to avoid all these to measure, to synthesize, to characterize. Okay, try to use the word to investigate, to examine, to propose, to recommend, or to come out. Okay, to use the appropriate words for your research objective. So this is my general objective. I put general objective and the specific objective. Okay. And methodology. Describe clearly. You have to describe according to the flow, how you're going to do this. First, you follow by, like for me, I have animal induction. So I describe the animal induction first, then followed by when I sacrifice, then what should I do after this is blood biochemical, then only to the gene extraction, RNA extraction, then to the gene extraction, to the microarray, and then followed by the next step. So when you describe things method accordingly, you will ease the reviewer or the assessor when they read through, so they are not really confused if you're not describing the methods in the order. Okay, so according to the flow and according to the objective. Okay, so please provide the flow chart if you have flow chart, how your experimentation is going to be, and then the Gantt chart and the milestone. Okay, state timeline in your milestone and Gantt chart when you're going to start writing your articles. Is very important. Okay, so that they know, okay, this PI knows what he's doing. He's the mastermind. He or she is the mastermind. Okay. Okay, expected output, you can come out. Like for my FRGS, when I fill up my form, I said there will be a patent because I'm creating a new model and I'm using that model and I treated with tualang honey to see the effects of tualang honey in that model. So there are a new model. So I filed the patent last year. So we will see whether the patent is granted this year. If it's not granted, then I'll apply copyright for that. So that is also under intellectual property. So for FRGS this year, Okay, they want 2 paper publication, but one paper publication must be published under WAS, under WAS journal. Okay, so you can describe potential application. You need to describe more precise what are the impact of your research on the society, economy, and nation. Okay, because I'm using the tualang honey, it's a Malaysian product, so I'm promoting a Malaysian product to be as a supplement for the non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Okay, intellectual property can be copyright or patent. Okay, PhD, number of PhD or master student. So for my project, because I'm applying for my PhD, when I fill up the form, I put for PhD student. So it's a 3-year project. Okay, 3-year project, but later they cut down into 2-year. So um, one of my co-research, my colleague, Dr. Zamzila advised, said, never mind. After 2 years, if you think you cannot finish, you can start applying for extension. So right now, my project, I'm having 1 PhD student and 1 master student who will be completing this project. Okay. So budget still 250 or less. Okay. The new update is they changed the wages salary for PhD student. It's about 2,500 and 2,000 ringgit for master student. So this is a new update. Okay. So you need to be realistic in the budget according to the timeline. But if you say that you have this project is for master student, okay, for master student, and you're putting 3 years timeline. So no, they said for master should be 2 years, 2 years project. So your budget should be for 2 years, realistic budget for 2 years. Let's say if you're using a bombastic method, okay, microarray, nanogene sequencing, which is very expensive, so please attach together the quotation. One of the reason why I didn't get back in 2017, one of the professor told me from he said, you need to attach the quotation. Once you attach the quotation, it will be convincing. So if you think you are using a bombastic technique, it's very crucial for your experimentation. Please attach together the quotation. Okay. Okay, now this is a new criteria for the this year's FRGS. Okay, this year's and last year's FRGS. You have pattern search. So you need to find similarity of your project work comparing Malaysian, Singapore, and Thailand. I think Prof. Rohana mentioned Indonesia, but later she corrected Malaysian, Singapore, and Thailand only. Okay, you get a bonus mark if you do this, but it's not compulsory for FRGS. Why you need to do this is you want to show that your research project is novel. That means nobody have done it, or the similarity is different. Maybe they add something else. Okay, or maybe let's say if I want to see, my one is high cholesterol diet. Some other researcher, they use other high fat diet, high cholesterol diet. Okay, they use another component. So you need to get the information there and then explain how is it differ from your project. Okay. And then go to the website for the patent search. Actually, this part is actually easy for those people who have done patent before, patenting. So go to this website, put your research keywords, research related keywords, and you can get the list which similar, and then you can go through and read and try, and you need to explain down. If you put some explanation on there based on what you get, and your current project, you need to explain why is it differ. So this is showing that your research is novel. Okay, this is also a new update nah? Okay, and then research collaborator, please ask your friends, okay, outside the university, the senior professors or industries for collaboration. Okay, this is not only providing Myra marks for yourself, but also for the university. Okay, maybe you can like, let's say if you're working with Tualang Honey, you can contact Pharma whether do you want to become the collaborator for us or not, with us or not, because they have R&D in Pharma as well in Dabi. So I'm sure they are willing to give you some materials for you to try for your experimentation. Palm oil from Dabi, and also any drug companies. Okay, this will also contribute again to your APA and Myra marks for yourself and for your university. Okay, so it's best to get, but if you don't, never mind. Maybe you can try next time. Okay, risk assessment is also something new. It is compulsory to do. Okay, there are three character here: technical, timing, and budget. Okay, technical is dealing with your sample collection or lab work. Like clinical, maybe sample collection, or the biomedical, basic medical science one, maybe on the lab work. So if you think there's due to the COVID-19, you have difficulties in collecting patient samples, so maybe you can put medium or high. If it's easy for you to get your samples, then you should tick low here. Okay. For timing, student availability. Let's say when you apply the grant, it's easy for you to get student, then you should tick low. If you don't have student at that time, and after you got, if you think after you got, you still have difficulty to get student because they don't want to come to Kuantan, so please tick medium or high. Okay. Budget, if you depending on the chemical price or any chemical instrumentation. If you think that in coming years the things will fluctuate, will be expensive, then you need to tick medium or high. Okay. When there's no difficulties, then you click low. And please, after you have ticked this, which one is low and high, please state the reasoning for the selection of risk assessment. You need to reason why technical low, timing high, budget high. So you need to tell so that the assessor or the reviewer know this is what your problem is. Okay, this is something new. Okay, okay. As what mentioned by Prof. Basri and also Prof. Azrina, yes, the PI need to be very meticulous. Don't just leave it to the co-researcher. You need to be meticulous. Okay, meticulous. You can send to proofread if you want a proper use of language. Okay, make sure you format your paper, your paper and your presentation nicely. Okay, uh, I mean, when it comes to the objective, the methods, okay, you write it properly accordingly to your objective and relate to your research proposal. Okay, and these are the reasons of being rejection in FRGS, which is already mentioned by Prof. Basri just now. So sometimes if your proposal is not a national interest also, it can be rejected. Okay. If it's not fundamental, objective is not clearly spelled out, and it's not fundamental is also the big major reason to be rejected. Okay. So these are all my references. Okay. Thank you so much for all these professors and associate professors for their sharing session. And always when I fill up the FRGS form after so many times of failing, I feel it's so difficult. But I tell myself, Allah tested me because I can do. So I will say Alhamdulillah. After that, I feel like there will be a positive aura for me. And I always read this doa when I apply for the FRGS. So when back in 2018, there was an announcement for the FRGS grant. I read my name, but I forgot that is my name. I said, is it me? So yeah, miracles happen when you don't expect things to happen. So always pray so that Allah ease you in every single thing that you want to do. Inshallah. Thank you so much. So good luck. Don't give up. Keep trying until you got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Roslina, and also thank you very much again for Prof. Azrina. Basically, all of the presentation is actually the experience sharings that we hope that after this, those who would like to present, who would like to apply for the FRGS can apply these tips and tricks. Therefore, without further ado, I would like to invite Prof. Yes, Prof.
Okay, Prof. Roslina, one thing about the patent search.
Yes.
So I attended the briefing by the national evaluator last week, and also HOR meeting. So
Yes.
even though it's mentioned that encourage, but she said that actually we have to do.
Yeah, but they said you had got a bonus mark, right?
No, have to do. Must.
Oh, must.
But by doing, otherwise you went to lose the mark there.
Uh-huh.
So by answering yes or no, you
Mm-hmm.
already got 5 marks.
Wow.
By answering further, you can get further mark. Maksudnya, don't miss that 5 marks. At
Mm.
least 5 marks from there. So you just need to justify. I mean the rest of the thing, like the further questions, and hopefully you can get another 3 mark, 8 mark. Because we need the 80% in
Marks.
total to
Yeah.
get the
Thank you,
certificate.
Prof. Thank you.
Yeah,
Because according to Prof. Ruhana, it's like bonus mark. So that's it.
yeah. Tak ada.
Sorry.
Yang HOR punya
And
dia itu siapa Adli, Prof siapa nama Adina ya? Like she said
uh,
that
uh,
um, she said even though is encouraged but actually must do. She repeated that many times.
Prof, sorry, the some of my points are overlapping yours.
Bagus, bagus. It's okay because for that we remember. So actually we keep some more than the point every year. It's about the same thing, yeah. But
Thank you, Prof, the opportunity.
thank you for the sharing, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Again, this okay. Thank you.
Okay, the next one, we have the FRGS proposal presentation. We have about 5, which is 3 from the internal medicine, inshallah, and 1 from the NS and 1 from the pediatrics. For your information, we have assessors, about 6 assessors today, which is Prof. Ramli, I see she is online, Prof. Dr. Azrina, Prof. Roslina, also the assessor. We have also Dr. Prof. Norilawati from pathology, Prof. Eileen from ENT, audiology, and also I didn't see Prof. Nazri, but he's supposed to be around. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite the first presenter, Dr. Wan Noliana from Internal Medicine, to present her proposal. Please, Dr. Wan Noliana.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dr. Wan Noliana. You can call me Dr. Liana from Internal Medicine. Just let me share my presentation. Okay. Can everyone see my slides?
Not in the full scale.
Okay, all right. Let me just open the. Okay.
Doctor, please.
Okay.
Yes, better.
All right. So this is my first attempt of applying for FRGS grant. So I will start with the title, the problem statement, research background, research objective, methodology, expected outcome, budget, and also my references. So this is my topic. Since currently I'm running the COVID ward in the SASMEC, so my topic will be post-COVID-19 multidisciplinary rehabilitation with the holistic telemedicine approach in Pahang. So problem statement, actually COVID-19 has been going on for about 1 year. So the 1 year data has shown that there are persistent symptoms of fatigue, breathlessness, anxiety, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and depression post-discharge. And this problem has actually raised the question on post-COVID-19 syndrome, early identification, and timely rehabilitation to reduce the long-term morbidity and improve these patients' quality of life. So, but we have some issues in providing this rehabilitation. So one issue is because of restricted patient access due to the movement control order, and also in Pahang, most of some of the patients are living in rural areas, so they have restricted access and transport to the city to go to the hospital. Another thing is the healthcare limitation. One is we have to protect our healthcare worker against exposure to COVID-19. And another thing is whether is there any limited availability of the personal protective equipment, PPE, in the hospital during the rehabilitation of this COVID-19 patient. So therefore, telemedicine, rehabilitation via telemedicine can be the answer to overcome this obstacle. So my research background, I will explain about the hypothesis, the research question, and some literature review. So my hypothesis will be timely, holistic, multidisciplinary tele-rehabilitation will reduce long-term mobility in these COVID-19 survivors. So my research questions, what is the incidence of post-COVID-19 syndrome in Malaysia in COVID-19 survivors and its predisposing factors? What are the effects on the daily living, physical and emotional well-being? Will multidisciplinary rehabilitation via telemedicine improve these symptoms, thus reducing their mobility? And whether telerehabilitation is as effective as conventional rehabilitation in, especially in severe COVID-19 patients. So uh, in post-COVID-19 syndrome literature review, Gotts et al. 2020 has found that predominantly symptom of fatigue, about 95%, and breathlessness, about 80%, were present even up until 3 months post-infection, and they cause worsening quality of life in 44.1%, and about 60% ICU patient and 50% general ward patient require additional work leave up to 2 months post-discharge. And even though neurological complication in COVID-19 was less common, about 10%, however, those patients develop encephalitis, stroke, and also Guillain-Barré syndrome can lead to long-term disability requiring rehabilitation. And also, after 1 year, there are findings that implies there are cognitive dysfunction and dementia due to hypoxic injury, cerebral ischemia, thrombosis due to DIC, and direct virus infiltration itself. Another thing is regarding mental health of these COVID-19 patients. Okay, so in research by Wang et al. In China, he reported high prevalence. In Taiwan, he reported high prevalence of psychiatric disorders such as anxiety, depression, and PTSD, which can double in patients with underlying psychiatric illness. And also, it is actually linked to the high systemic immune inflammation index, which is found in the severe COVID-19 patient. And this cause a higher incidence of anxiety and depression. And environmental stressors such as social isolation, stigma, and also fear of infecting others also contribute to these mental health disorders. So based on this data, so we need rehabilitation in COVID-19 patients. So a literature review by Demeco et al. Revealed that we need to have a timely rehabilitation post-discharge with the focus on respiratory, physical fitness, and psychological needs. And a European and also American Respiratory Society has published an interim guideline where they recommended formal assessment of exercise capacity, lung function, and psychological distress at 6 to 8 weeks for discharge, which they also recommend a comprehensive rehabilitation program. There are a few centers in globally that did a post-COVID-19 clinic in London, where they review severe COVID-19 pneumonia at 4 to 6 weeks, which involve multidisciplinary respiratory physician and radiologist and also ICU team. And also in Netherlands, where they do cardiac and pulmonary and psychological evaluation at 6 weeks. However, to date, there is no long-term follow-up and rehabilitation effect reported so far. So in COVID-19 in COVID-19 itself, telerehabilitation has only few data. I found 2 papers where a case report actually, where Bigton et al. In 2021 performed a 3-week pulmonary telerehab in one patient in Malawi, which improved the symptoms of fatigue and breathlessness, enabling return to work. And another study was from Japan, where they do in 4 patients isolated in the Diamond Princess cruise ship after discharge, and they do a tele-rehabilitation with video conferencing with the physical therapist, which leads to a positive outcome. So these are my research objective. One is to determine the incidence of post-COVID-19 syndrome and its predisposing factors. Number 2 is to describe China for mobility post-MDT telerehabilitation. And number 3 is to investigate efficacy of MDT telerehab versus conventional rehab in severe COVID-19. Methodology, this is a randomized control trial for 1 year duration post-discharge, evaluating the effect of MDT termination in COVID-19 patient. It will be conducted in telemedicine clinic at Susmet Kuantan. It will be conducted within a period of 2 years, including data collection and publication. My inclusion criteria is simple. It's confirmed COVID-19 patient which has been notified to JKN Pahang with access to handphone or internet to enable the telemedicine. There's no exclusion criteria. For sample size, for objective number 1, final sample size is 130 patient. For objective number 3, for severe COVID-19 patient, when you want to compare the tele-rehab and conventional rehab, is about 40 patient. The methods, so this list of patient and contact number will be retrieved from the Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri Pahang, and we will get verbal and written consent. And then their inpatient demographical clinical laboratory data will be recorded for predisposing factors, analyzed for predisposing factors. And we will analyze the post-COVID-19 symptom, fatigue, breathlessness, musculoskeletal weakness, mood disorders, and cognitive impairment at 6 weeks post-discharge using questionnaires via telemedicine. So the questionnaires that can be used in the study will be the MMRC, Modified Medical Research Council, MMRC Dyspnea Scale, Checklist Individual Strength CIS Fatigue Subscale, Kessler Psychological Distress Scale K10, and Mini Mental State Examination MMSE. So, and this patient will be referred for holistic MDT tele-rehabilitation program incorporating spiritual care and will be reassessed at 3, 6 months and 1 year post-discharge. And this program will consist of tele-rehabilitation consultation and videos on muscle and pulmonary exercises together with psychospiritual counseling and therapy. So this is my study flow chart. The data collection I will collect on the symptoms at 6 weeks, and then I will assess the improvement of the symptom using the same questionnaires at 3, 6, and 12 months from the date of hospital discharge. So the data analysis will be analyzed by SPSS. We'll calculate the incidence of post-COVID-19 syndrome. The non-normal distribution variables will be summarized using median and interquartile range, and the categorical variable with normal distribution will be expressed as frequencies and percentages. And to determine the factors associated with post-COVID-19 syndrome, I will use a few statistical tests, chi-square test, independent t-test, Mann-Whitney test, and Kruskal-Wallis test. And we will use logistic regression to determine the predictors for this post-COVID-19 syndrome. And for the third objective, we would like to use independent t-test to compare the outcome. And after that, use a repeated measure ANOVA to compare the outcome at 3, 6, and 12 months. So this is my activity milestone and Gantt chart. So for the next 2 years, the expected outcome is this MDT interpretation will be utilized as the standardized national module for national program in combating COVID-19. I would like to have 2 publications in index journal. However, I did not specify which journal to be published yet. The specific or potential application, it can be applied in all states or in the states with restricted access to hospital-based rehab service, such as in Pahang, Kelantan, Sabah, and Sarawak, or in the states where they have enhanced or targeted MCO areas. I would like to produce 1 master by research student, as this is a 2-year research duration. And the impact on society, economy, and nation. Because of this persistent symptom of fatigue and breathlessness, the patient are unable to work, so it will cause financial difficulty. And to treat this complication also will need more money. So, and their mental health will be worsened by stigma from society and social isolation. So we hope that by doing this study, we hope that the outcome will be used by the government and MOH to use as a national tele-rehabilitation module as a standardized national program in line with the SDG goal number 3. And this will facilitate these patients' early return to work, will increase the industrial productivity, and will enhance the economic review during the pandemic. It will also lead to a healthy Malaysian society and leads to healthier and robust nation in the fight of COVID-19. Access to equipment, I will be using the telemedicine clinic available in the SASMEC with desktop computer, CPU, and headphone. And this is my budget with a total budget of around 150K. And these are my references. Thank you.
I would like to invite assessors, profs to comment and give suggestion for Dr. Wan Nurliana.
I just want to ask this. This is like a telemedicine thing. Who's
Yes, Ponatri.
who is your co-researcher? Maybe
Oh yeah, sorry.
they will.
My co-researcher
Maybe
will be my colleagues for the post COVID-19 clinic. So I will have rehabilitative physician Dr. Samahanim, Prof Nora, and Dr. Nazira from the psychiatry department. And also I have one co-researcher from KICT, Prof Suhaila Samsuri, which specializes in telemedicine. And another one is actually Prof Aminuddin Osman, who is the Sharia compliance, involved in the Sharia compliance aspect for the spiritual care counseling.
So usually in FRGS, we worry about whether it's fundamental or applied research. So sometimes some people think this is an application of telemedicine to treat something, right?
Yes.
So you just want to make sure whether it is really a fundamental thing or not. Whether are you actually applying something which is already there to treat the problem, or you are actually creating something new to treat this problem. So it's already there and you want to apply this method to treat you. Maybe some people might think this is a applied research rather than fundamental research. So I think you need to discuss with those especially the telemedicine or ICT, whether this is it an apply or is it can be fundamentals. Because for us, maybe we are not familiar with this method, so maybe you can ask your colleague.
Okay, all right.
It sounds applied or is it really fundamental?
Okay, thank you, Ponazri.
Before the ideal, I think that before the rest comment, so I just want to say something about. So I think that Dr. Liana, first of all, that as what Prof. Nazri said, that must be look fundamental. When look at the thing that if the method is you are going to what the new theory or new model or new technique or something that you're going to introduce. So from the topic tu, there's no tak nampak macam the fundamental of it, because the tele rehab is the technique is been there kan. I think boleh, tapi maksudnya the kedua, the technique tu is to application. Maksudnya you said that there is randomized control trial. But anyway, I think that later on maybe we will assign you to one mentor to arrange everything, and you need to fit into. Number 3 is the selection of your team. Like Prof. Alina said, it's not just. So I think that you need to the strength. Apa you cannot bukan nak cakap apa, tapi you have to include a lot of like those yang apa tu you know that the meaning that you make your research successful and have the good background of completing a few, like sebab you novel, you baru kan, so
yes.
your team yang to support you must be a bit stronger.
Okay.
Faham ya? Yang itu a bit stronger, maksudnya why not you put Prof. Nazri contohnya kan, sebab dia he got banyak macam Mohi grant ke apa ke kan, as orthopedic contohnya lah kan. So your choice of the people tu macam Macam itulah. Tak apa, I want to leave it to other assessor to comment. Prof Azrina ke Prof siapa lagi yang ada Jamal? Jamal is not around Roslina, Vela ada, Aileen, or even the Prof Siraj also is there.
Can we see your title?
Yes.
I think your title you shouldn't have a colon. I think better you make it like a full sentence.
Okay.
To show that